Hello, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to today's Fibro Fight live Q&A. I'm Irene, for those of you who don't already know me. And I'm really glad you're here today. I'm going to scooch over to the comments so I can hopefully catch any questions that are coming in. And I'm still not sure if I have this quite set up right. So that being said, please be patient with me. I hope you can get all of your questions to me. If at any point in time you cannot reach me through the live chat, please don't hesitate to send them through the website at fightfibro.ca or directly to me, Irene, at infoispower.ca. That said, welcome. If you're new, let me introduce myself a little bit. I do specialize in hypnosis, NLP, and different holistic approaches to wellness, especially or in particularly for those who are battling fibromyalgia, because I myself have fought this fight and I know what strength can be found in working with others, getting stronger and stronger and better every day in every way, which is a mantra you'll hear me often say. Today, we're going to talk about some of those exciting and transformative tools that I use and the different techniques. In particular, we're going to talk about how hypnosis can actually help reprogram your brain for healing. This is a very, very powerful tool. We'll also be talking about something that many people in the fibro community have found to be very, very helpful, but there's also a lot of misinformation or misunderstood information about using cannabis as a tool in tackling the different challenges from fibromyalgia. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and in every weekly show. So if you have those kinds of questions, please, now is the time to ask them directly to me, or you can send me messages, of course. That said, grab yourself a tea, get comfy, and we're going to get started. Feel free to drop your questions into the chat as we go. I will do what I can to answer as many as I can if they actually appear on my screen. If they do not, then I cannot. But you can always add them in the comments if you're watching this after the live, and I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. Just remember, I'm one person, I have one behind, and I am trying to ride 6 horses. So it may take me a little while to get to you. If there's an urgent question, please make sure that you reach out to me in every way possible so that I can attend to your questions. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Yes, right? I really want to talk about hypnosis. This has been one of the most powerful tools that I have learned to use effectively to help me help myself. And because it is such a natural phenomenon, it's something our brains naturally do. You can help you. You can do this for yourself. You can get stronger and stronger, as I do, every day in every way, getting better and better. What exactly is hypnosis? Well, if you've ever gone on a long drive and you reached your destination and went, wow, where did that last 10 minutes go? That was a type of trance. That's a type of hypnosis. If you've ever been caught up in a really good book or watching a great movie in which you got lost, like you could still kind of hear what was going on around you, but you're really into that show, that's a form of hypnosis. It is television after all, right? So it's, to put it succinctly, I guess I could say that it's a natural focused state of awareness where your conscious mind, and it kind of relaxes and your subconscious mind becomes more open to suggestion. Which is why when you're watching that movie, you jump away from the screen because your subconscious was imagining that you were really there, right? It's all this sort of thing. And that's hypnosis. So guided hypnosis or working with a hypnotist, such as myself or a hypnotherapist. What we do is we simply guide you through those processes. There is a systematic approach to hypnosis and to getting deeper and deeper into a state of trance. And so we will help you to do that so that you can access all of the resources that are already within you to help you help you. And again, I can't stress it enough. That's what these weekly shows are for. I have 4 more to do after this one. And we'll see what kind of feedback I'm getting. So, keep those questions coming to me, okay? How does hypnosis specifically help with fibromyalgia? Well, number one, it absolutely helps us to reprogram the perceptions that we have in our head about pain. Pain is what we physically feel is the signal to the brain. How the brain interprets that signal is how we respond to pain. So it can be, ow, or it can be, oh, I have control and power over this. And I say that from experience. I am someone that suffers continuously from spastic muscles and ligaments and tendons that kind of like to flare up and pop out and migrate simultaneously from the neck to the toes. And so, yeah, I've had to walk through a couple of those Charlie horses, and I've learned how to control my response to those pains. So instead of getting laid up or popping a pill, I take a couple of deep breaths. I might have a little bit of cannabis. I might do a short meditation. I might actually do some tapping therapy. But whatever it is, I now have the tools and the techniques to help me help myself. And so I want to help you as well. Hypnosis can truly, truly help turn down those pain signals in the brain and reprogram the brain as to how it's going to assess those messages moving forward. So it's also a generative tool, or generative strategy, a strategy that just becomes more and more effective as time goes on. The more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more you'll practice. You'll see. We're just getting started. So we're actually going to do and start doing the Fibro 5, and we'll practice a little hypno treatment in a few minutes. The other big thing that it does is it helps to reduce the stress and inflammation. Chronic stress makes fibro symptoms worse. It really does. If you are feeling stressed all of the time, that pain is going to worsen. Those messages are going to become like loud 2-year-olds in your brain screaming and yelling at you. I'm going to show you how hypnosis can help train those messages. It's also hypnosis helps, everybody knows that about the hypnotracks to help you sleep, that sort of thing. So of course it is going to improve your sleep quality. And I think the number one thing that hypnosis really helps for fibro fighters is that it builds and promotes that emotional resilience that we need to keep going to the battlefield day after day, hour after hour, week after week, month after month. The good news is the more you practice these tools and techniques, the more power and control you are going to have over the quality of life you live, which means you will no longer be a victim to fibromyalgia, but you will rather be a victor over all of the battles that you fight. You will win. It's about being warrior, and let's get to warrior status. Again, the more you practice, the more effective these tools will be for you. So let's do an actual hypnosis treatment. This is nothing you haven't experienced before. I will be doing these for each and every live Fibro Fight. It is a Fibro Fight 5-minute mini session of hypnosis, and then we'll talk about cannabis. So let's get started. I want you to understand right away that this is a very rapid and powerful hypnosis session that is designed to help you reset your body and mind in just 5 minutes. So that's whether you need a quick relief from stress, fatigue, or pain, doesn't matter. This session will leave you feeling calm, refreshed, and re-energized. Give it a try now. You can do this by watching the recorded afterwards, or you can practice with me right now. Begin by just getting yourself comfortable in your seat, feeling where your feet are on the floor, where your bottom is in the chair or the seat that you're sitting in. And close your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in and hold. Exhaling slower than you inhaled. I'd like you to do that one more time, feeling that nice, deep, cool, fresh air. Inhale, filling your lungs and your belly, completely holding. That's right. And exhaling even a little bit slower. As you do on your next breath, as it is comfortable for you, I want you to imagine your body relaxing. You know what it feels like to be relaxed. So imagine your body feeling that way now. Whether you can feel it or simply pretend to, you can allow a nice wave of warmth and light and energy to cascade over you. And with every breath, you can sink deeper and deeper into a zone of comfort, where every inhale draws you into the relaxation and every exhale allows you to drift further and further into a state of calm. Picturing a soft feather, perhaps floating gently down from the sky, drifting effortlessly on a breeze. You can allow in your mind, as you imagine, watching as it would slowly and slowly descend at just the right pace for your comfort, to enjoy the calm and relaxation as the feather lowers more and more, allowing any tension that may be in your body or any tightness, known or unknown, to loosen and dissolve. And with each breath, the relaxation flowing through you, guiding into your personal zone of calm, comfortably known to you. And as that feather continues to float, by the time it reaches the ground, your entire body is at ease, resting in deep comfort and relaxation. That's right. And visualizing with your imagination a dial in your mind. Imagine that dial that's numbered from 0 to 10. And notice the number that represents your current pain or discomfort level, your current level of dis-ease. That's right. You can notice how that number may be brighter or louder or larger than all the other numbers. That's right. And now, as this is your mind and you have control and the ability to retrain your brain, you can imagine turning that dial down on purpose, lowering that number, choosing a smaller number with ease, effortlessly. Decrease the brightness of the number that was and increase the brightness of the number that should be. And as it decreases, I want you to feel the sensation of shifting, of softening. And keep moving that number. Keep changing the brightness, softer volume, fading, fading, zoom completely to a zero. And notice the relief and lightness that can fill you now. Now picture a warm golden light radiating from your core, flowing through your muscles, easing and soothing every part of your body. This healing energy, restoring strength, vitality, and calm in the most wonderful of ways. Telling yourself that your body knows how to relax and heal. Believing you are in complete and total control of how you feel. Knowing that every day you're growing stronger and healthier and more at ease. That's right. And in a moment, I will count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you feel refreshed and re-energized and completely at ease. 1, feeling lighter, peaceful, and calm. 2, awareness returning to your body. 3 times stronger than you've ever been before, opening your eyes, fully present, feeling wonderful. Yeah. Okay, reacquaint yourself with the room and see where you are. Feel yourself back in this space. How does that feel? Yes, wonderful. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so that is the 5-minute Fibro Fight reset that we will be doing every single week during these live Q&As. Finding it peaceful, yes, thank you. And that's what we Fibro Fighters need sometimes. It's just that 5-minute reset to have our bodies feel peaceful, our minds relax and feel peaceful, and then we can rejuvenate and have that strength to move forward. Sometimes taking that 5 minutes is a little bit harder, and sometimes our minds don't want to go into that calm or that state of peace and tranquility right away. Now, the more you practice with hypnosis, the easier that will become to do that on command and on demand. But in the beginning, it may be a little challenging. Some people, myself inclusive, have found cannabis to be a wonderful tool. Reducing mental noise pollution is always welcome. Yes, it most certainly is. And again, that peacefulness of just allowing all the external sounds to leave is, so good for us. But let's talk a little bit now about cannabis and the role that cannabis can play alongside of hypnosis. Now, some people, myself inclusive, have used cannabis as an aid to allow sounds like Wookie to just fade. Real life here, guys. We're not a professional studio, and this is just live streaming for you. Cannabis can help take hypnosis to the next level for sure. Cannabis is a very effective tool at helping to quiet the mind. It can make it easier to slip into trance and access deeper relaxation levels. Now, some strains that are particularly helpful are Harlot Sue, for example, or Jack Hare, Jack Frost. One of my absolute favorites for getting into that calm state of relaxation, to do a nice lengthy hypno treatment on myself, is Dutch Treat. These are all strains, and I'm going to name a few more about certain things because there are different strains for different pains. A strain that really helps to enhance focus, because as we know, hypnosis is a state of very directional focus, some strains that can help. Always look for the terpenes of limonene and pinene. Pinene is very effective at helping us to really focus our thoughts. So a great terpene to look for in any strain. But some of the strains that are particularly high in these terpenes are things like sour diesel or super sour D, which is super sour diesel. Harlequin, if you're not real big on the THC aspect, Harlequin is a very high CBD, which means it's a total anti-inflammatory without the significant psychotropic high that is often associated with THC. Now, a couple of other strains that I've learned really work for me for focusing are things like green crack or Cinex. And I could be pronouncing Cinex wrong, but it's spelled Cinex. When we want to talk about calming the nervous system using cannabis, some strains that I have found particularly, and I'm not the only one, there are a lot of reviewers and a lot of judges out there over the last couple of decades that have done a lot of work and research. So although the info that I'm providing you with is anecdotal, there's a lot of us to back it up. But strains like Blackberry Kush or Girl Scout cookies are fantastic at aiding in releasing that pain or tension that is often associated with fibromyalgia and many other arthritic types of aches and pains. So, and you've heard me say this before on various podcasts and such, but anything with the purple in it, Purple Kush, Granddaddy Purple, Purple Project, all of those are also very, very effective for calming anything to do with the nervous system. And Blue Dream, one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure, again, if you look at greenirene.ca and go to the 420 showcase, I have personally written and done reviews on over 3,000 strains prior to and since legalization. So I have looked at a lot of different products and really gotten a good feel for what's available and what does what feels what, firsthand knowledge. So check out the reviews that are on the 420 showcase at greenirene.ca. Now, all of that being said, some people find that using cannabis before a hypnosis session or right after a hypnosis session really helps to either promote or extend the relaxation benefits that are achieved from a hypnotic trance. Notably, not all cannabis is equal. All strains are slightly different one from the other. And although now with legalization here in Canada or most of North America, we have a lot of hybrids, which are combo strains, finding the right strain that works for you is very important. So I recommend always keeping a journal or a log, a cannabis log. Again, you can find one on the fightfibro.ca website as well as greenirene.ca website. And I know that in an upcoming workshop, I will be sharing some templates. And those workshops are the last Wednesday of every month. But that's a whole different subject. I've shared some of my favorite strains, and I will continue to do that, how I use them, when I use them. I like to use the Volcano Dry Herb Vaporizer by Storco & Bickel. This is it. It's digital. I can control the temperature. This allows me to consume the cannabis, inhale the cannabis for immediate effects at a temperature that is perfect without inhaling or introducing burnt plant material to my lungs, right? This, for all intent purposes, when you vape dry herb, what you're doing is you're sweating the material to an optimal temperature, which in the case of cannabis, THC is released at 347 degrees Fahrenheit. So anything above that, all you're doing is causing that plant to sweat. And just when it's optimal that the THC is being released, you hit that fan and push all that sweat off into a balloon that looks like this. It fills up with all of that vapor. Hello, JJ. Jason, yes. And it fills up with all of that vapor, and then you can inhale that, and you can do it at a pace that is comfortable for you. A far more effective consumption method than burning it, though some of us still like to simply burn it. There's something ceremonial about that. So that is the best, most effective way to consume the strains from an inhalation perspective. Now, if you're going to consume cannabis as an edible, we'll talk about that in a future live Q&A. But it's important to notice that with different methods of consumption, there will be different effects. When you are inhaling cannabis, you are using the active THC. When you digest, that THC9 gets further metabolized by the digestive juices, and it becomes what's known as 11-hydroxy tetrahydrocannabinol. Huge mouthful. Bottom line is it's about 5 times more potent, and it lasts about 3 to 5 times longer than it would if you were simply inhaling. So again, different methods for different different strategies. There's also topical solutions that can be considered, and those are great for localized pains, like those spasming muscles. They're brutal, right? So get some topical on there, and you can't get high from the topicals. So if the euphoria is something that concerns you and is preventing you from using cannabis, know that so many benefits can be gleaned from this cannabis plant without feeling that euphoria. Moving on, some of my favorite strains for doing self-hypnosis, deep relaxation. I may have mentioned these before, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Hindu Kush is a fantastic strain if you can get your hands on it. Very much an indica, and it's a very high THC potent, very potent, very, very potent. Double Dream, fantastic. Super sativa, absolutely love it. Again, very high THC. White Widow is a very common strain that a lot of people know. It's a balanced hybrid that's usually around 18% of THC. Lavender, or also known as Soma number 10. Soma. I always think of Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, but yeah, Soma. It's Soma number 10. Also, it's a lavender. That's about a 60% indica, 40% sativa. So it's indica leaning, but it's kind of got a nice balance to it. I've only tried it once, but I really, really liked it. So I made the list of favorites today. And AK-47, which I have been growing for more than a decade because it is a staple. Don't let the name fool you. This particular strain really is one of the best chill out strains that I have found for meditative states. It provides a really gentle, euphoric uplift. It promotes a nice deep relaxation. And yeah, it's just one of my favorites. So don't let the name deter you. I'll tell you a quick story. Don't ever let the name deter you. I'll tell you a quick story. My grandfather, bless his heart, is passed now, but he lived a very long life, and he was a learner. And as a learner, late in life, around in his early 90s, he decided to learn to understand cannabis. And so he read some of the textbooks. I gave him some work from Dr. Ethan Russo, as well as, there's a lot of information available. And so I provided him with a lot of the data. And he decided to try cannabis. His favorite strain was called Stripper Spit. I would never tell him what the name of the strain that worked for him was. But the point is, it was the cannabinoid and terpene profile that made the difference for him. So you really want to know, like I say, if you are looking for a strain that produces focus or enhances focus, you really want to look for the terpenes like limonene and pinene. If you're looking for sleep, you want to look for something that has a very high beta caryophyllene. There, again, there's other terpenes, and we're going to get into all of this as time goes on. There's only so much time per episode. So, and I do want to leave lots of time to be able to answer your questions and all that sort of fun stuff. So I have done an awful lot of talking now. Does anybody have any questions yet? I'm really happy to see
From your
everyone here.
calendar, Tommy starts in 30 minutes.
My calendar is telling me I have stuff coming up. All right. So if we have any questions, I can answer some of them now. I know some of the questions that I typically get asked about hypnosis and fibromyalgia is, does it really work? Or, can it cure me? Now, I have heard some people say that they've been cured. And I think it's that they are very, very skilled at controlling their own mind. Because if you can control that pain in your brain or how you interpret those messages, you are giving yourself the ultimate in power. It's just a superpower. It really is. It's like putting on your Superman cape. I tell you, the more you practice, the better you'll become. And the better you become, the better you'll feel. And the better you feel, the more you'll want to practice. And those skills are developed and honed just by doing just that. So for some, it really varies. It definitely helps to reduce the pain. It helps to retrain the brain. And for overall management, as I said, it's great for sleep. It's great for a lot of things. So hypnosis is certainly something that should be employed by anybody fighting any conditions, and definitely for fibro fighters. Another question I am most often asked is, how long does it actually take to see the results? Well, I have to tell you, some people and most feel immediate relief in the first session. That doesn't necessarily last. So we have to, reinforce those statements, practice the self-hypnosis. Others need multiple sessions to get the full effects. If you feel there are any universal truths that people don't understand about fibro, do you know? Thank you. That's a great question. Yes, there have been a lot of misunderstandings about fibromyalgia. There's a lot of research still being done to date. One of the absolute truths is that this is a different this is a different enemy every day, and it can change from morning to night. And that's difficult for someone who's not experiencing it to get their head wrapped around it. Whereas today, I might be able to go for just an awesome walk from here to the corner store. And tomorrow, I can barely make it from the couch to the kitchen. Now, I say that as someone who was struggling with fibromyalgia. I still have flare-ups every day, but my tools, and I have been enhancing my tools and the techniques that I use so intensely. And every day, practicing, I get better and better every day in every way because I practice these tools. So I really strongly suggest and promote them to everyone I can, and don't expect miracle results in 1 hour. It's not like popping a pill. Even though it can feel like you can have instant relief, those flares will come back. Yes, it's like a muscle. Exactly. We need to practice it and train that muscle. And then it becomes automatic. I will have some pains now or some experiences that historically would have laid me up for a day or two, frustratingly. And nowadays, it's like it hits. I've got the immediate squashing response or the strategy that goes into play almost like an autonomic response, almost that quickly. And it's like problem solved, and I'm moving on with my day. Now, that's not to say that fibro doesn't get me. There are things. I have zero control over the weather. If it's been a very fluctuating up and down sort of thermostat, so have my symptoms. So fortunately, I use multiple tools. I use hypnosis. I use cannabis in a variety of ways. I use neuro-linguistic programming, which is how I talk to myself. I also use tapping therapies. I'm going to share all of these things. I just can't do it all in 1 hour. So I have to allow for, each show there to be, or each episode each week to be sharing a little bit more. So if you're looking for something specific, look back on a previous week if it's not already in the material, or look forward to it, or send me a question and I will certainly address it in an upcoming show for sure. So any other questions? I know another one that I get is, how do I do this? I've worked with people online and we've done the coaching and the guiding and that sort of thing. And I've helped by, doing hypnotherapy sessions with them where they've experienced the hypnosis and felt the relief while in my presence. And then after leaving me, it hit them again the next day or what have you. And they're like, how do I do this? So yes, self-hypnosis is a very real thing. It does take practice to get very good at it, but even the first time you do has a wonderful effect. Thank you, JJ. You know what? I really hope that everything I have learned and everything I have practiced will help others as well. Everybody who's fighting with this, it's just one of those, we have the tools, we have the techniques, let's share the resources. Yes. So one of the other big questions that I get asked is, and there's a lot of mixed or misinformation or misunderstood information, and that's about mixing cannabis with hypnosis. Is it safe? I've been asked, is it safe to do so? Well, of course it is. Cannabis is a very, very natural substance, and hypnosis is a very natural phenomena that we do every single day. So in some way, shape, or form, when you are between that waking up state where you've been sleeping for, your 6 to 8 hours and you're not quite awake, but you're not asleep anymore, that's a form of hypnotic trance. In fact, that's such a great state. At that moment, if you pre-plan some very empowering statements, like I use mine, it's an Emile Coué, it's a take on Emile Coué, who was a great psychologist back in the 20s who did a lot of work with hypnosis and such. Anyway, he wrote, I get better and better every day in every way. And I have learned through a multitude of different trainings that it's to install this message in our brain, because our brain will do everything it can to prove that we're right. So it will look for all the information and all the convincers to tell us that what we're saying is the right thing, which is why we don't want to tell ourselves negative things. That's the NLP of fighting fibro. Don't tell yourself your bad things. Tell yourself good things. When I'm just waking up, where my eyes haven't opened yet, and I'm not quite asleep anymore, and I know that I'm waking up, I've only got 3, possibly 4 minutes in which I can really install some powerful statements for the day. I do. And I tell myself, I am getting better and better every day in every way. In every way, every day, I am getting better and better. Every day, I am getting better. In every way, I am getting better. So you'll notice that I said the same thing to myself 3 times, but 3 different ways. That way it's getting in my brain one way or another. So that by the time I actually open my eyes and sit myself up and put my feet to the floor, I'm ready to go. And I've already told my brain that this is an even better day than it was yesterday. So no matter what yesterday was, today is even better. And tomorrow when I wake up, it'll be even better yet. These are the things that we need to start doing for ourselves. And some people will ask, well, aren't you just lying to yourself? Am I? Maybe I'm just lying to myself that, man, I feel like crap today. Because, I can make myself feel like crap. All I have to do is think about all the horrible feelings that I can have. I know what it feels like to be trapped in a wheelchair. I know what it feels like to be stuck in a fibro fog where you can't even remember your own name half the time. I know what it feels like to be fighting and frustratingly over finances, emotional regulation, intellectual control. I know all of those things. And if I sit for a 10th of a minute to think about any of those things, I can certainly bring myself down. right? I think we all can do this. So how many of us want to put that same time in, but bring ourselves up? I want to feel powerful. I want to feel like I am in control of my life, that I have power, that this is my life, my world, my fight, and I'm a warrior. And I'm going to continue to be a warrior. And I'm going to help build an army of warriors, of fibro fighters, people who don't want to be a victim to this dis-ease. Understanding it would be wonderful. Learning how we got it would be great. Learning that what the actual solution for it would be tremendous. However, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. I am a fibro fighter, and that's what I do every day. And I am here to help you. So please share this information with your friends. Help get the info out there so that we can get those questions coming in and we can work together as a community to fight fibro. I'm going to take a look at the chat now for a quick second. I feel that cannabis helps to make the walls that would normally inhibit deeper trance a bit, to be thinner and easier to navigate. Yes, I'm not sure if I spelled that, if I read that out completely correctly, but you're absolutely right. It does. Cannabis helps our minds, our brains to relax. It kind of softens the information so that our thoughts become a little more fluidic. And I know we talk about focus, but it's kind of a bit of a duality in statement, because it also helps us to hyper focus. Pardon me, I've been talking a lot. And I'm pretty sure I've said at least 11 times. Okay, I'm over the word Cannabis allows our thought processes to become a little more fluidic so that we don't become attached to a particular thought. However, it also helps and aids in a hyper focus in that we can narrow in on one particular subject. So if, for example, I'm painting, I can really zone in on how those colors are moving in front of my brush, how much is being released. I can really hyper focus on that while allowing my thoughts to become very passive and fluidic. So I hope that that helps to clarify how we both hyper focus and have fluidity of thought with cannabis. Any other questions before we move on today? I'd be happy to answer them. Again, looking for those particular strains, anything with purple in it. One of my favorites is Purple Project, but there was a very limited supply of it. It wasn't a standardized strain yet. So it's one of those hit and miss strains, but it had a great profile of terpenes and cannabinoids. That really worked well for me. Granddaddy Purple is a staple to go to. When it comes to hypnosis or using cannabis in combination with a hypnotic treatment, depending on, or a hypnosis session, whether it's self-hypnosis or a guided session. If you're looking to quiet the mind, Jack Hare, Jack Frost are very popular among many people that I've worked with. And Dutch Treat has become one of my favorite when I want to slow things down. For calming the nervous system, again, any of the purples. Blue Dream is something that I've liked most recently. And yeah, I think that's really as much as I can say on all of those subjects. I don't see any new questions coming in. As you can hear, my dogs are acting up and doing their thing. It is the life of living life, right? And I'm pretty sure one of them wants to go for a walk, even though we've already gone for a walk a couple of times. Now, before I go, I really want to stress and recap on what we covered today. Hypnosis reprograms your brain. It helps you to reduce the pain and the stress by simply changing your interpretation as those signals meet your mind. Cannabis can certainly enhance hypnosis, and it definitely helps to treat many of the pains or symptoms of fibromyalgia, and there's a multitude of ways to use it. Some will cause a psychotropic high, others will not at all. Everyone's journey is different in fighting fibromyalgia, and same with using these modalities that I share, these modalities of techniques and tools and treatments. This is what's worked for me to help myself. And so I am sharing them to help you. Okay? Experiment and find out what works best for you. And please, please share the information here. Let's build this community. If you want to dive deeper into more of the work that I've done for fighting fibro and the different battle strategies that I've put together, you can check out my website at fightfibro.ca. Most of the information is there. Great to see everybody here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me again today. On March 26th, the last Wednesday of every month, I will be doing a live webinar through the Info is Power series. And more information, you'll see it coming through in social media, in the ads and stuff. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, be sure to click the link, find me at fightfibro.ca, or just send me a message. I do offer free discovery calls to some people. Don't really need to work with me. They just need a little bit of clarification. And if I can offer that, then why wouldn't I, right? That being said, thank you everybody for joining me today. Thank you. It was great to see you again today. Yes, absolutely. We will see you again soon. Ciao for now.